Good morning, boys and girls. It is a happy Monday. Happy Monday. I hope you had a great weekend with your families, and I'm looking forward to our week together, starting off today on Monday, May 18th, 2020, as we continue with our animals and with our different versions of the Three Little Pigs. A little review from last week. We read version 1, version 2, and version 3. They were all written as plays. So we read 3 different plays about the Three Little Pigs. And this week we're going to move into books about the Three Little Pigs as we continue our Three Little Pigs on Monday, May 18th, 2020. Mrs. Sheppard in the classroom, Miss Thompson with all the behind the scenes. Let me hear you with a boom from home. Pigs, pigs, and more pigs. Just show me the pigs. Oink, oink. This was one of our shared readings last week that was in your packet. We're going to go through it again this week. You probably already have this one memorized. So let me hear you from home. Remember, this is when we work on our fluency and those reading skills in first grade. P-I-G-G-Y, sung to the tune of Bingo. Here we go. There was a hungry little hog, and Piggy was his name. Oh, P-I-G-G-Y, 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 and Piggy was his name. Author unknown, author unknown, author unknown. The author is unknown. Second poem from last week. This was in your last week's shared reading packet, and it's called Oink, 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 Little Pig. Let me hear you from home. Here we go. Oink, 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 little pig, can you do a little jig in the bright light of the sun? Are you having lots of fun? Oink, 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 little pig, I think that you will grow big. Oink, 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 the author is unknown. Oink, 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 the author is unknown. Both of those were review poems from last week. And we have 2 new poems today, and these are in, I hope my pen's working because I already started this video once. My pen wasn't working. I had to shut it down and start it back over again. Hallelujah. So this one is in your shared reading packet for this week, and this one's called The Pigs Are Pink and Plump, and this goes to the tune of The Farmer in the Dale. I'm ready for you to jump right in with me this morning. I should hear you from home. The pigs are pink and plump. The pigs are pink and plump. They keep cool in mud all day. The pigs are pink and plump. The pigs have curly tails. The pigs have curly tails. The mother pig is called a sow. The pigs have curly tails. The piglets are so cute. The piglets are so cute. The piglets are the baby pigs. The piglets are so cute. The author is unknown. The author is unknown. The author is unknown. Oh, the author is unknown. This is where I picked up my pen on take 1 and my pen wasn't working. Hope it's going to work. We know from this poem, sometimes in just a regular poem, we get facts about things that we're learning about. A mother pig, this is a tricky word. Sometimes that word can be read as sow, and sometimes that word can be read as sow. Here, a mother pig is called a sow, and a baby pig is called a piglet. So 2 facts from my poem. Mother pigs are called sows. Baby pigs are called piglets, and that is in your packet shared reading this week. This is another new poem for today. It's also called Pigs, and this one is also in your packet for this week. I should hear you reading with me from home. Pigs are playful, pigs are pink. Pigs are smarter than you think. Pigs are pudgy. Pigs are plump. Pigs can run but never jump. Pigs are loyal. Pigs are true. Pigs don't care for barbecue. Now that poem makes me laugh a little bit when it says that pigs don't care for barbecue. I wonder why pigs don't care for barbecue. Well, I'm thinking if you eat barbecue, barbecue is pork, and pork comes from pigs. So pigs don't care for barbecue because when people eat barbecue, they're eating part of a pig. And then I have the author is unknown, oink, oink, oink. I have a couple of clips on our new poems for today, but I want to move on with my lesson, and if we have time, we'll come back to those clips at the end. We'll be doing those new poems, those 2 new poems every day this week, so if we don't get to those couple of little clips today, we'll get to them later in the week. And I asked you last week, just what do you know about the 3 little pigs? And you already had some prior knowledge, and now you have more prior knowledge because we did 3 different plays about the 3 little pigs last week. Now, a review of last week's teaching points. These are the big things that Mrs. Sheppard is trying to teach us through our different versions of the 3 little pigs. First, a new type of fiction that we talked about last week. The 3 little pigs goes under the traditional literature genre. We also, with the 3 little pigs, are talking about characteristics of fairy tales. Our fairy tales are going to give us a lesson in life, theme, moral. We're focusing on story elements with our fairy tales. That's characters, setting, central problem, main events, and then a solution or resolution. And the really big thing I'm focusing on, especially this week, is we're going to be comparing and contrasting different versions of the 3 little pigs. We did that last week, but we're going to jump into it even more with that comparing and contrasting this week. Now, the traditional literature genre, this is a review from last week. Remember, includes folk tales, fairy tales, fables, tall tales, legends, myths. The 3 little pigs is a fairy tale, but you may also hear the 3 little pigs called a folk tale. Now, characteristics of fairy tales. This is a review from last week. They are passed down from Give It To Me, Mia, generation to generation. They're usually long ago were told through storytelling, and then they were finally written down. Coda, there are many different versions. Thank you, Coda. Fairy tales usually teach a lesson in Elijah, life. Lawson, that's also called a theme or moral. Eliza in fairy tales, what 2 numbers do we think about? Yes, Eliza, things often come in 3s and 7s. Okay, Spence, what do most fairy tales begin with? You got it. Once Upon a Time and Muno Uno. What do most fairy tales end with? Yes, happily ever after. A fairy tale usually has a John Boy. Thank you, bad guy. What else can we call the bad guy? Sid, the villain, and I'm coming to you last. Wells, Ben, dynamic duo. We call him the bad guy. We call him the villain. We can also call him the Ben Wells, yes, antagonist. Now, most of that is a review from last week. I'm going to read the black. I want you to read the pink from home. Today I will learn, your turn, to compare and contrast different versions of the same fairy tale. Miss Sheppard in black. My job today is your turn pink to compare and contrast different versions of the same fairy tale. And once again, this week we're continuing with those three cute little pigs. Now, our Monday, May 18th, 2020, our lesson for today is, or the book I'm going to read to you today, I'm going to read you two different versions of the Three Little Pigs. The first version I call the Blue Book version. The reason I call it that is because it comes from a blue book. The book jacket is blue. The second version I'm going to read to you is going to be called the Yellow Book version. Why do I call it the Yellow Book version? You got it. The book jacket is yellow. Now we're going to really focus in on comparing and contrasting the Blue Book version and the Yellow Book version. And we're going to be talking about something new today. We're going to be talking about how, as readers, when we compare and contrast, we can use a Venn diagram. And this is what a Venn diagram looks like. It's two circles, and the circles overlap. And my Blue Book version, I'm going to be talking about by using my first circle. My Yellow Book version, I'm going to talk about by using my green circle. And you may ask me why I didn't use a yellow circle, because Mr. Smartboard didn't have one. He had a blue, he had a green, so I'm using green for the Yellow Book version. Now today, first book I'm going to share with you, title, The Three Little Pigs. I left the author and the illustrator off because this Blue Book version is a collection of short stories. So sometimes in a collection, this book doesn't have one big author and one big illustrator. So that's why I left that off. And then we're going to go to genre fiction, genre traditional literature, genre fairy tale, and author's purpose is to entertain. So I'm going to shift my iPad and I'm going to read to you the Blue Book version of The Three Little Pigs. Now you already have a lot of prior knowledge. This story is going to be short. This book is a little bit heavy, so instead of holding it up like this, I'm going to hold it up before I turn the page. And this is The Three Little Pigs. I need you to be really, really good listeners from home. Once upon a time, characteristics of a fairy tale often begin with once upon a time. There were three little pigs who lived with their mother in a little cottage. Now, as their mother was very poor, the three little pigs decided to go out into the world and seek their fortunes. The first little pig set off down the road. After a time, he came upon a man carrying a big bundle of straw. "Hello, sir," said the first little pig. "Please sell me that straw so that I can make myself a house." Now, he didn't ask the man to give it to him. He asked him to sell it to him. So the man sold the little pig his bundle of straw, and the little pig built himself a cozy house made of straw. Coming a little bit closer so you can see. No sooner was the little house finished than along came a great big bad wolf who knocked on the door and cried. Tell me what he cried. Little pig, let me in, or I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. The little pig replied, oh no, I won't let you in, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. And so the wolf huffed, and he puffed, and he blew down the little pig's house of straw. And the little pig had to run as fast as he could on his feet, as his feet would carry him. I'm self-correcting. Let me reread that sentence. And the little pig had to run as fast as his feet would carry him, or the wolf would have eaten him up. Shortly afterward, the second little pig set off down the road. Soon he came upon a man carrying a large bundle of, what? Sticks. Hello, sir, said the little pig. Will you please sell me your sticks so that I can make myself a house? So the man sold the little pig his bundle of sticks, and the little pig made himself a cozy house of sticks. No sooner was his house finished when along came, guess who? The great big bad wolf, who knocked on the door and cried, little pig, let me in, or I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. The second little pig replied, oh no, I won't let you in, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. So the wolf huffed, and he puffed, and he blew down the little pig's house of sticks. Then the little pig had to run like anything, or the wolf would have gobbled him up. Next, beautiful transition phrase, the third little pig set off down the road. Soon he came upon a man carrying a big load of what? Yes, bricks. Hello there, sir, cried the little pig. Will you sell me your load of bricks so that I can make a house? So the man sold the bricks to the little pig, and the little pig built himself a cozy brick house. But no sooner was the third house finished than along came the what? Yes, the great big bad wolf, and he knocked at the door and cried, little pig, let me in, or I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. And the third little pig replied, oh no, I won't let you in, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. So the wolf huffed, and he puffed, and he blew, and he huffed, and he puffed, and he puffed, and he huffed. But no matter how hard he blew, he couldn't blow down that house of bricks. However, the great big bad wolf was not about to give up so easily. Character trait, determined. He huffed, he puffed, he blew, he huffed, he puffed, he blew. He couldn't blow down the house, but he was not giving up. He was determined. Character trait. As a reader, I had to infer. He climbed up onto the roof and poked his nose down the chimney. I am just poking my nose inside, said the wolf. As you wish, replied the little pig. Uh, and now I am just poking my ears inside, said the wolf, for he did not want the little pig to get frightened and run away. As you like, replied the little pig. And now I am just putting my paws inside. All right, said the little pig. And now I am just putting my tail inside, said the wolf, climbing down the chimney. But just then, the great big bad wolf gave a terrible ow and scrambled back up the chimney as quickly as he could. You see, that clever little pig had put a great big kettle of water on to boil in the fireplace. And that was the last any of the three little pigs heard of the big bad wolf or ever saw him again. It said that clever little pig. Clever would be a character trait, meaning that pig was really, really smart. So put a big kettle of water, and when the wolf came down, he got burned by that big old pot of water, and they never saw him again. Now, thank you for being such good listeners at home. I do have a clip, but because we're comparing and contrasting the blue book version and the yellow book version, I don't want you to get them mixed up with the version on the clip. So I'm going to take you back to one of our poems for today. I'm going to take you back to The Pigs Are Pink and Plump. I'm going to show you, this is just a fun little clip. This is a good chance for you to stand up because my lesson's going to go a little long today. So stand up. Let's take a little move around break. If you need to press pause, take a quick break and come back. This is a good time for us to shake it out and move it around a little bit. Let me share this short little clip from The Pigs Are Pink and Plump. Good chance for you to stretch it out. Now that was a fun little pig song. That gave you a little stretch break. If you need a little break, because Mrs. Sheppard is reading us 2 books today. So if you need a little break, you can take a little break because I'm getting ready to roll right into my yellow book version of The Three Little Pigs. And once again, we will be making a Venn diagram to compare and contrast the blue book version, the yellow book version. And as readers, thank goodness it's working, when we compare and contrast. We tell how our two versions are alike and how they are different. So I'm going to go right into my yellow book version. Title, The Three Little Pigs. The yellow book version, Arthur Gavin Bishop. Illustrator Gavin Bishop. Genre, fiction. Genre, traditional literature. Genre, fairy tale. And Arthur's purpose, to entertain. Now, the blue book version of The Three Little Pigs. Sorry guys, I forgot to move my camera to my chair. I was about to read a book to you while you were looking at the smartboard. That would be a little crazy. It must be because it's Monday and my brain is still on weekend mode. Now, when I read the blue book version, this is the version that I had heard many, many times when I was a little girl, when I was growing up, when I was going to school just like you. But the yellow book version is a version that I had never heard until I was a teacher at E.J. Hayes Elementary School in Williamston, North Carolina. And there was a fourth grade teacher. She knew I was reading some books to my kids about the Three Little Pigs. And she shared this Gavin Bishop version with me. And I'm going to be honest, this was a version that I had never heard. So this one had some things that happened that are going to be different from the blue book version. Now, some of the things in this story are going to be the same. Some are going to be different. So from home, I want you to be comparing and contrasting, thinking about how the blue book version and the yellow book version are alike and how the blue book version and yellow book version are different. I always have somebody, when I read this book to the class on the carpet, I have somebody that says, I've never heard that version. And it was new for me until a few years ago. And now it's one of my favorites. Now, this book is really old. And you know, sometimes when I read you a book on the carpet, the pages are trying to fall out. So if one of the pages falls, I'll have to pick it up and patch this book back together. And I thank you for being such good listeners. Show me your wide eyes and your big ears. One day, Mrs. Pig decided it was time her sons left home. Now, in this version, I see Mama Pig is cutting the grass. I see there is a swimming pool in their backyard. The blue book version looked like it took place in the country. This version looks like it might be taking place in more like a small town or a city than out in the country. So she packed them some lunch and sent them off to seek their fortunes. She thought it was time they left home. The first little pig met a man carrying a bundle of what? Straw. Please, may I have some straw to build a house? Asked the little pig. The man gave him some straw, and the first little pig built himself a fine straw house. Before long, a wolf came by and knocked at the door and said, little pig, let me come in. No, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in, said the wolf. So he huffed and he puffed and he blew the house down and he ate up the little pig. Now I'm remembering in the blue book version, when the wolf blew down the straw house, the first little pig ran away to the second little pig's house. But in this version, that wolf ate up that first little pig. That's something that's a little bit different. The second little pig met a man carrying a bundle of sticks. "Please, may I have some sticks to build a house?" asked the little pig. The man gave him some sticks, and the little pig built himself a fine stick house. It wasn't long before the wolf knocked at the door and said, little pig, let me come in." "No, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin." "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in," said the wolf. So he huffed and he puffed and he puffed and he huffed, and at last he blew the house down and ate up the little pig. So the second little pig didn't run away. The second little pig got eaten by the wolf. That's a little bit different from the Blue Book version. The third little pig met a man with a load of bricks. "Please, may I have some bricks to build a house?" asked the little pig. The man gave him some bricks, and the little pig built himself a fine brick house. Soon the wolf came by. He knocked on the door and said, little pig, let me come in." "No, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin." "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in," said the wolf. Well, he huffed and he puffed and he puffed and he huffed and he huffed and he puffed, but no matter how hard he tried, he could not blow that brick house down. When he found that he couldn't blow the house down, the wolf said, little pig, I know where there is a field of the biggest turnips you've ever seen." Now in the Blue Book version, when he couldn't blow the brick house down, he climbed up onto the roof and he came down the chimney. But in the Yellow Book version, he said, "I know where there's a field of the biggest turnips." I wonder why he says that. And boys and girls, a turnip is a type of vegetable. "Where?" asked the little pig. "Why, in Mr. Smith's field," said the wolf. "If you are ready tomorrow morning at 6:00 a.m., I will call for you and we can go together." So he says, "I know where there's a field of turnips. I'll come by tomorrow at 6 and I'll show you." Wonder what that wolf is really thinking about doing. What are you thinking? Make a prediction at home. "Very well," said the little pig. "I'll be ready." Next morning, the little pig set off for Mr. Smith's field at 5:00. Remember, the wolf was coming at 6, so he left at 5 and gathered a whole basket full of turnips. The wolf arrived at 6:00. That's what time he was supposed to come, and called, "Little pig, are you ready?" "Ready?" the little pig replied. "I've already been there and back again, and I have a nice pot full of turnips for my dinner." Now, how do you think that's going to make that wolf feel? The wolf was very angry, character feeling stated in the text, but still thought he could trick that little pig somehow. "Little pig," he said, "I know where there is an apple tree that grows the reddest, sweetest apples you've ever tasted." "Where?" asked the little pig. "Down at Mary Garden," replied the wolf. "I will call for you at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, and we can go together." So he says, "Now I'm going to take you at 5 o'clock tomorrow to the sweetest apples you've ever seen." But the next morning, the little pig woke up at 4 o'clock and set off for the apple tree, hoping to get back before the wolf arrived. However, because he had farther to go this time, and because he had to climb the tree, he was just coming down from it when he saw that wolf approaching. Oh no, he's up in that tree picking apples. And here comes the big bad wolf. Wonder what he's going to do. "So, you're already here, little pig. Are they nice apples?" said the wolf. "Yes, delicious," said the little pig. "Here, try one." And with that, he threw an apple as hard as he could so that the wolf had to run after it. The little pig quickly jumped down and ran home. So when he threw that apple, he was trying to trick that little wolf, wasn't he? He threw that apple so that wolf would go after the apple and he could escape and get back home. I would say that pig is very clever. The next day, the wolf came to visit again. "Little pig, there is a fair at Shanklin this afternoon. Shall we go?" "Oh, yes," said the little pig. "What time will you call?" "At 3 o'clock," said the wolf. As usual, the pig set off well ahead of time. At the fair, he bought a butter churn and was carrying it home when he saw the wolf in the distance. Quickly, he climbed into the churn, but the churn toppled over and rolled down the hill with the little pig inside. The wolf was so frightened that he ran away home. So the pig saw the wolf coming. He climbed into that butter churn. The butter churn toppled or fell over and started rolling down the hill, and it scared that wolf so bad that he started running home. Later, he went to the little pig's house and told him how he had been attacked by a huge round thing that came rolling down the hill at him. The little pig laughed and laughed. "Ha ha, that was me who frightened you," said the little pig. And he told the wolf what had happened. The wolf was now extremely angry, character feelings stated in the text, and told the pig that he was going to climb down the chimney and eat him up. At that, the little pig quickly put out a big pot of water on the fire to boil. As the wolf came down the chimney, the little pig took off the lid and in fell the wolf. In an instant, the little pig put the lid back on the pot, trapping that wolf inside. I love this last page. That was the end of the wolf, and the little pig lived happily ever after. Now, the author doesn't say, but looking at that last illustration as a reader, I am inferring that that third pig ate the wolf, because look how big his stomach is, and look at his fork and his knife and his empty plate. So I think that the pig ate the wolf that he had captured in that big pot. Now that was my yellow book version of the Three Little Pigs. And we're going to come back to my smart board. And I know, boys and girls, this lesson is going a little bit long. So if you need to stop and take a break, that is a-okay. Press pause, take a stretch, take you a little get out the wiggles break, and come back when you had a little break. Mr. Sheppard's going to keep going. Now, we are going to go over to my reading station, and we're going to be putting together, remember this is our Venn diagram where we compare and contrast. We tell how the blue book version and the yellow book version are alike and how they are different. So we are going to, that's not it, we're going to be making a Venn diagram. Now, because I knew this lesson was going to go long, Mr. Sheppard has already put together the Venn diagram, and I want you just to look at what I've already put together. If you were with me in the classroom, I would set this up as a station, and you would complete the Venn diagram station while Mrs. Sheppard worked on reading groups or worked with reading groups. Now, the blue circle is the blue book version. The yellow circle is the yellow book version. Now, I want you to notice, because Venn diagrams can be a little bit tricky, I want you to notice the things that are here in just the blue part of the circle. Those are things from the blue book version. The things that are here in just the yellow part of the circle, those are from the yellow book version. But the things that are in the middle where the circles overlap, those things were in both versions, both the blue book and the yellow book. And you probably notice there are some things that are outside of the circles. The things that are outside of the circles, those things did not happen in either version. So let's start just with the blue part of the circle. We have the setting was in the country. Pig 1 bought straw from a man. Pig 2 bought sticks from a man. Pig 3 bought bricks from a man. Pig 1 escaped. Pig 2 escaped. The wolf was burned. The wolf's tail was smoking. The wolf scrambled back up the chimney, and the wolf ran away. Those are things that were just in the blue book version. Now, things that were just in the yellow book version. The setting was more in the city. A man gave Pig 1 some straw. A man gave Pig 2 some sticks. A man gave Pig 3 some bricks. Pig 1 was eaten by the wolf. Pig 2 was eaten by the wolf. And then the wolf was eaten by Pig 3. Pig 3 went to the turnip field. Pig 3 went to the apple tree. Pig 3 went to the fair. And Pig 3 climbed into the butter churn. Those were things that just happened in the yellow book version. Now remember, where my circles overlap, those are things that happen in both versions. In both versions, we had Pig 1, straw house, wolf, wolf blew down straw house. Pig 2, stick house, wolf blew down stick house. Pig 3, brick house, wolf did not blow down brick house. A big pot of water on the fire. The wolf was the antagonist. The villain was punished. In both books, The Three Little Pigs was a fairy tale. Fiction, Arthur's Purpose to Entertain. Both books began with Once Upon a Time. Both books had a mother pig, and both books had Not by the Hair of My Chinny Chin Chin. Now let's look at our things that are outside the circle. That means these were in neither book. Father Pig, Pig 4, Wolf Left Through the Door, Not by the Hair on My Chinny Chin Chin, and The Wolf Blew Down the Brick House. Also, not in either book, Arthur's Purpose to Inform, Nonfiction, and Three Houses Side by Side. Now that is a Venn diagram of the blue book version, the yellow book version. Just in the blue circle, those are things that were just in the blue book. Just in the yellow circle, those are things that were just in the yellow book. Where the circles overlap that you see blue and yellow, those were in both books. And the things outside, those things were in neither book. Now, I promise I'm getting ready to wrap up. It's Monday, and I know my lesson has gone a little long. That's why I told you a couple of times that you may want to get in a little break. The last chunk of my lesson is going to be your writing job for today. Last week, when we did our writer's notebook book job, some of our writer's notebook jobs went with our carpet read aloud for that day. So today, this is going to be your writer's notebook job for today. And you're going to do this in your writer's notebook. And this is all you have to write me for today. When you open up your writer's notebook, you don't have to write me a letter today. This is going to be your job. Okay, this will be your writing job in your writer's notebook for today. First, decide which version of the Three Little Pigs was your favorite. Did you like the best the blue book version or the yellow book version? So as readers, make a decision which was your favorite, the blue book version or the yellow book version. Next, in your writer's notebook, write your name, your date, and your number on your paper like you always do when we're at school. After that, you're either going to write blue book version if that was your favorite, or you're going to write yellow book version. After you write blue book version or yellow book version, that's all you have to do for writing today. Either write blue book version or yellow book version. Last but not least, have your family member take a picture of you holding up your writer's notebook where you either wrote blue book version or yellow book version. Have your mom, your dad, whoever you're doing your lessons with today, hold up where you wrote blue book version or yellow book version. Send me a picture and you are finished with your writing job for today. So all you have to do in your writer's notebook today, name, date, number, tell me was your favorite blue book version or yellow book version. Write that in your notebook, hold it up, let mom or dad take a picture, and that is all you have to do for your writing job today. Now, my lesson on the carpet went really long today, but your writing job today is really, really short. And that is all you need to do, and that counts for your writer's notebook job for today. Thank you for hanging with me. I know this lesson went really, really long. I promise tomorrow will be much, much shorter. But remember, Your writing job today is really, really short. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope you have a happy, happy Monday. I enjoyed sharing with you the blue book version of the Three Little Pigs and the yellow book version. Remember, choose your favorite. Write either blue book version or yellow book version in your writer's notebook. Get mom or dad to snap a picture, and that is it for your writing job for today. You do not have to write me a letter. I hope you have a happy, happy Monday. I hope you have a great, great day at home with your family. Thank you for being such good listeners and for working so hard at home.